haven't done these videos in a while, and I really wasn't planning on doing one until I talked to my friend Connor, aka, oh, you get the idea, on Twitter. Well, we were talking about the possible rumor of belts being made to WWE, not so much for the main brand, but a new belt for Asia and also a new belt for Latin America. And I guess this is pretty much in the whole spring of the whole the UK tournament that's going to be coming up this Saturday and this Sunday, which kind of made me think of the possible globalization of WWE. In this case, this really does make me a little bit nervous because I know the indie circuit in Europe is amazing right now. It's completely booming. And I see why WWE wants to capitalize on that. But it's not so much that I'm worried about the fact that the brand's going to take everything away from the indies and that the indies won't have anyone watching them, because let's be real, variety is the spice of life. There's going to be some times when you want to go and try something new and not stick to WWE all the time. I mean, that's how I am. I actually like watching lucha occasionally, and I'll watch New Japan, variety, pretty much. Not really watching Raw and SmackDown and pretty much being all WWE all the time. But I digress. I'm not so much concerned about them taking away from the indies. I'm more concerned about the individuals investing in them. More so of the wrestlers actually going to WWE or being a part of these tournaments. And my concern is this: for those that actually are currently on the indie circuit overseas, are they able to work with other brands? Now, I know WWE is completely strict in the US about any of their wrestlers volunteering their services to other brands. They're strictly WWE. Now, I know that William Regal kind of I made a tweet a little while ago, I think to WCPW, about the fact that the wrestlers do have the freedom to still go with other circuits. The thing is with this is that if Vince McMahon is over it, and nothing against Vince, there are some times that things do stick and there are some times that they don't, but the man is known to be completely fickle. And my concern is, will he actually say that these players have the freedom to go to be in other brands? Or, like, out of the blue, he'll just write up a contract and say that, no, you have to stay here. I know that's going to be impossible legally to do. But I've always wondered, before this thing is set in stone, will he change his mind and actually try to keep the wrestlers that he has that are in the indie circuit currently and try to keep them in the brand or stuck in their contract for several years? That's pretty much my biggest concern there. Now, from what I've heard about these promotions, especially for the UK tournament, after the UK tournament, they're gonna have their own WWE, WWE, not European brand, but more so a UK brand that's going to stay in the UK. The same thing with Asia, the same thing with Latin America. And I can understand that. But will they be under the same restrictions since it is a WWE brand? Are they going to be under the same restrictions as some of the wrestlers here in the US? Now, I know that laws overseas are completely different and they have to adhere to those laws. But since it's a WWE brand, will they try to work their way around it? I guess my concern is that I really do want the people who work in the indie circuit to get a fair deal and not be obliged, well, not obliged, but feel like that they're stuck under one brand when they're used to working for multiple. I know that ROH actually does have a joint partnership with New Japan. So I know some people from ROH, if they actually do decide to be a part of these WWE tournaments, will they have the freedom to go back if they actually are working with ROH or New Japan? Do they have the option to go back and work with other brands? That was the one thing that I was kind of concerned about. The whole restriction that the indie circuit is going to have if you actually participate in the WWE event. Not the indie circuit as a whole, but the wrestlers that are actually participating in it. I just really want all these wrestlers to have a fair deal, because for some reason it kind of makes me think of the cruiserweights. And for the cruiserweight tournament, there were individuals that were free agents. They actually did work for New Japan, some with ROH, some overseas, and they actually had the freedom to either stay there or go to other places. So it makes me kind of wonder, like with the cruiserweights, they're kind of stuck where they are. Will the same thing actually happen over there? And not really so much other wrestlers. That also makes me think of the programming. Now, this is my overall theory. They're making these tournaments to make it be like 205 Live here, except it's going to be in the UK, and I would not be surprised if they're actually going to air it on the network. They're probably not going to air it live because, of course, time difference, especially in the UK as well as in some parts of Asia, including Singapore, which is over the international line, which means that they are hours ahead of us. But other than that, even if they don't do it live, I'm hoping it's not going to be the same exact format as it is here. I want it to be something different over there. I want to have the same flavor in their country than our flavor here, because our flavor at this point is a little bit on the bland side. But when it comes to going over to another side, it's going to be a completely new exotic flavor of their show. I don't want their show to be the same format as WWE here. I want it to actually be the same format. Well, not the same format here, but I want it to be a completely different format over there. And I want them to have their own rules, not feel like they're actually stuck because they have WWE stamped on their show. I want them to have the freedom to make their show the way that they want to in their own country and not really be held or be constricted by the WWE brand. And I'm hoping that Vince McMahon or Paul Levesque or whoever's in charge, I'm hoping that they don't have a stronghold on this. Because even though they have been over there internationally, it should stay where it's at. And they should have their own, they should have people from their own country. And I know that sounds terrible, but for example, I would understand if William Regal's going to be over the UK circuit. I understand that because he is from the UK. If they have someone that can represent Asia, and I'm just throwing it out there because he's the only guy that I know that's currently working for WWE. I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. But shoot, I'm just going to throw out there Funaki. If Funaki is actually over anything in Japan, I understand that. He's Japanese. And I'm just throwing it out there, okay? I really don't want the WWE to become a global corporation because I don't want them, and it's going to be inevitable. Yes, they're going to become their own global corporation. It's inevitable. But I don't want them to try to have a stronghold on any of these shows. They need to be different. But it would be genius, which I wouldn't be surprised if they're actually going to try to do, to make this content for the network. I'm all for that. 100% for that. I would love to see something different over there. I would love to see UK wrestling matches on the network. And I know that there are many ways to actually see UK wrestling matches, and I have seen a few. I think I have seen British Weekly, but other than that, I digress. I would love to actually see all different kinds of wrestling in different countries that are not stuck to the same format here. But I honestly don't think that they are going to because, of course, international rules. And if you want to have a fair partnership, there is no way on this planet that they're going to make you from another country dictate what they do on their show. But they have a WWE stamp of, well, they have the WWE stamp on it. I'm not going to say stamp of approval, but they have a stamp on it. And that's one of my biggest concerns. I really don't want the indie scene to lose its flavor. It has a huge amount of flavor right now, but I don't really want it to be the same bland flavor that the WWE is doing right now on Raw. Good Lord. They really do need work on Raw. And even though SmackDown is amazing now and it's more relevant than it's ever been, and NXT, I have not watched NXT in a while, but the times when I actually did see NXT, they have a whole new roster, a whole new flavor going on. And they were amazing back in the day. They're still amazing now. I actually did see some of their pay-per-views. NXT TakeOver, amazing. But the one thing I just don't want it to be is the same bland format that Raw has. And I know it's far-fetched. I know it really is. Raw is 3 hours are boring. The third hour is just as worse. But I guess I really don't want them to have too much of a stranglehold overseas. I want them to allow them to be what they're known for in their countries, what their country stands for, because every single country has a different flavor of wrestling. If they decide to do it in Mexico, stick it to Lucha and have them fly. Please have them fly. If it goes overseas to Japan and they have a Japanese show, keep it strong style. Just saying. The same thing with the UK. Keep it technical or whatever. They have more than one, I know. High flying and technical. Keep it the flavor that it is in each country and don't have it WWE style. That's all that I want. But other than that, guys, I've talked far too much about this, and I know I was all over the place about this actual topic. But I do want to hear what your thoughts are about this. How do you feel on the possible globalization of WWE? Do you really think that this is going to work? Do you think they're going to try to have every single country stick to their own format? Or do you think they're going to allow them to give them the freedom to have their own flavor, as well as giving the wrestlers freedom to go from one area to another if they're a free agent? I just want to know what y'all's thoughts are on this. Leave a comment in the comment section below. I am curious to hear what y'all's thoughts are. I know that I was all over the place with this, but I was kind of inspired after talking to Connor about this, and it still kind of made me think a little bit. So yeah, my ideas are everywhere, but I still want to hear your thoughts. So leave it in the comments below. Nature Girl 30 signing off. Peace out. Later.